Being a new wife isn't always what you expect, but it's so much more rewarding than I ever imagined. From helping my husband to making pancakes, and through it all, I'm learning to trust God more and more and embrace every part of this new journey. Welcome back to my channel. I can say that now. Yes. So today is going to be a little bit different because, as you know, I recently got married and I want to take you with me. A little bit about my day, I would say, some thoughts about marriage, some things that I wish I knew as a new wife, and just sharing with you some of my favorite recipes that's in my routine. After my husband goes for work, I usually take the time to clean up, straighten things, and just make sure it's tidy from any mess from the night before. I also take the time to go to the gym after that, but I didn't film anything from the gym that I can show in this video. Sometimes in the beginning of the week, I also make kefir. Kefir is basically like the fancy version of yogurt, but it has so many things that are really healthy for you. I feel like I'm living my best probiotic wife life when I'm making kefir. So I'm just showing you a little bit about it. I usually just put the kefir germ in with some milk for 2 days on the counter. For my Jamaicans, I know that sounds gross, but trust the process. And then when the 2 days are over, I have the strainer, as you see I'm doing now, and just knocking that until the kefir separates with the kefir germ. So I just mix it with a yogurt drink that we get in the store, and I usually just take this on an empty stomach. Honestly, I'm still figuring out the balance of being a new wife and keeping my own identity, but more and more I'm just embracing that, and I realize there is no such thing as a perfect wife. A good wife is one who just shows up, turns to Christ as her guide, tries her best, and occasionally sometimes she's gonna be burning the toast, but that's okay. Cooking for my husband is really fun. I find that as a new wife, I'm in the kitchen a lot. I sort of expect that, but it's more than I expected. But actually I realized that I love cooking. I knew that I loved it before, but I even love it more now. And cooking for him is one of my ways of saying I love you. And sometimes it's a reminder that marriage is less about super grand gestures. Sometimes it's about that, but the small sweet moments like making dinner is something that I can use to show my love. And I really like that. I really love exploring in the kitchen. One of the things that becoming a new wife that I wish I knew, not really wish I knew, but advice for people maybe courting right now, is just be careful of the advice that you're getting. Be careful who it's coming from. Because growing up in Jamaica, if you're Jamaican, you know that you are getting advice whether you like it from not. Like that guy down the street who's been divorced for 15 years, or he doesn't treat women well, he's gonna tell you how to treat women well or how to treat your husband, even though he may not is the most best source for advice. So if you live in a advice saturated culture like I am, just try not to take in too much, because too much advice can be overwhelming. And for me, it was like that. I was very overwhelmed with some advice that I got, because I was just getting so much advice. With marriage, as a new wife, I used to read a lot about marriage. As I said, I used to get advice, but nothing can fully prepare you for marriage. You are gonna, even though you get advice about everything, there are still things that you need to learn on your own, and that you're going to learn on your own. But the best thing is, especially when you have God, like Christ will help you. Compared to my husband's culture, I be emotional, girl, man. I be emotional sometimes, and literally I have to go on my knees asking the Lord, Lord, help me please with my emotional regulation so I can serve my husband better, so I can, just get my emotions under control, because I say, Lord, your name is stronger than this flesh. It could be menstruation. Usually around my menstruation time, I get more sad, and I say, Lord, I know this flesh be weak, but your name is strong. Just help me, because for me, like, that emotional time sometimes is difficult. So yeah, the Lord has been my greatest guide, and He can help you. Pray to Him. I know it's cliche. I know. But get on your knees, girl, guy. Just pray to the Lord. Like, Lord, today was hard. Lord, I'm feeling sad. Lord, please help me. And He will. He will. Sometimes it may not happen the same second, because sometimes I'm praying and I'm like, Lord, please help me now. But gradually, as you like get up from your knees, you will literally like feel the prayer working. On that point of advice, the next thing, enjoy marriage. Don't take things too seriously. Because of how I grew up, I feel like we're very hyper focused on marriage and like good marriage. And it's like, make sure you do this, make sure you do that, make sure you do this. And that's overwhelming. And I feel like that makes us, or like me, I ended up being so hyper focused on being perfect. Like, everything has to be perfect. Like, we have to do A plus B in order to get C. Like, we have to be this kind of couple to make sure like 50 years down the line we're really happy. But the Lord has been teaching me, like, just step back, just enjoy marriage. It's like breathing. When you overthink about breathing, you end up like missing breaths. So don't overthink about marriage. Just enjoy it. You're with your good friend. Imagine you have like a permanent bestie where you're coming home and you can cook. You can cook together. You can, vibe together. So don't take it too seriously. And you will make mistakes, and that's okay. Especially for my more like emotional girlies or guys and overthinkers who overthink everything. You will make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up for it. It's okay. It's okay. Next thing I want to say is, if you're single and you're watching this video, I want to encourage you to do stuff before you're married. Go out and travel. Go out and get that degree, get that job you want. Go out in that space that you want. Take up space. Tick off your bucket list, because when you're married, it's very different. It's a beautiful kind of different. It also incorporates another person's opinions, personalities. So for me, I got married at 27, which I think is a little bit later in life. Your girlie wanted to get married at 23. I remember I had a friend, and I was like 18 and she was like 23 and she wasn't married yet. In my mind, I was like laughing because it was like, that would never be me, but here I am. Yes. Anyways, go out and do stuff before you're married. Why do I say this? Is because that time before marriage is so sacred as well. I know, like, in the Christian society, it's easy to be hyper focused on wanting to get married, wanting to like be intimate and stuff like that, especially if you're saving yourself for marriage. But just really enjoy your time as a single person, as a non-married person. And because traveling is going to look different after you get married. When you want to get that degree that you always wanted, it's going to be a different kettle of fish, as we say in Jamaica. It's going to be a different circumstance when you're married. So try to do a lot of things before you get married. I did a lot of stuff. I traveled to almost 30 countries before I met my husband. Well, close to 20 before I met my husband, and we traveled to a couple of after that together. I ended up studying 2 different disciplines that I wanted to. Disciplines for my non-English speakers, non-like English native speakers, just means like 2 different degrees, 2 different subjects. I did so many things before I got married, and I'm really thankful for that. So yeah, go out and do that thing that you always wanted to do. The last thing I'm gonna mention in this video is the most important thing. Know Christ for yourself. Christ in your life looks different from Christ in your partner's life. And you need to understand how the Lord shows up in your life, how he speaks to you. And the only way you're gonna know that before you get married is praying, is fasting, talking to God, enjoying God. God is beautiful. Like, a relationship with him is so amazing. So just experience Christ for yourself. Speak to him and say, Lord, I've been serving you. Or if you haven't served the Lord or know him, say, Lord, I've heard so much about you. I'm curious about you. I want to know you for myself. And when you have a journey on your own with Christ, it helps a lot in marriage, because you're going to have to turn to Christ in your marriage. You're going to have to turn to him sometimes. And when you don't know how to pray from when you're single, how are you going to pray when you're married, girl? Guy, how are you going to pray? And yeah, if you are not married, what do you think will be the hardest part of marriage and the easiest part of marriage for you? Let's talk in the comments. And if you're married, please tell me what has been the most beautiful part of marriage for you, because we are going to start promoting beautiful marriage, beautiful relationships, because the enemy is promoting a lot of like negativity around marriage these days. But I want to help to change that, because there are a lot of people who are married, happily married, been married, will stay married, but you're not seeing that a lot in social media. So that's discouraging a lot of young people. But yeah, cheers to good marriages. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. So that's a little bit about my thoughts as a new wife, some of the recipes that I keep going back to, and just basically like my general routine in a day. So I hope you enjoyed that video in some way. Like, maybe you liked the recipe, maybe you like my vibe, maybe you like my thoughts, my tips, whatever it is. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in another video. Bye. Bye.